Hi, good morning. Very busy day today. Have a tour of our potential apartment that we're going to be moving to in Hamilton Heights, and then a LCS watch party at NYC downtown starting at 5 o'clock. Also, I'm working today, but I also ran out of opium, so I got to go to Target, go back work, apartment viewing, watch party. I'm going to bring you along for the entire day because isn't that kind of what documenting the journey in the esports is like? These events are kind of my way in, so let's find out. I've seen people make TikTok videos of like investment banking and they like try to like hype up that lifestyle, but the reality is like as a person in finance, you spend 8 hours a day on Excel, and that just is what it is. There's nothing fun or entertaining about it, so no point in showing it. The highlight is whenever you can just catch up on emails and sit here and have the dogs with you. But beyond that, work is work. So how you feel about moving out?
I'm sad to leave the Mid-Town area, but I'm excited that we're gonna have some good opportunities ahead. I think we'll get more space and more for our money up in the Heights.
Now, I'm not saying where we're going to yet, just because we haven't blocked any apartments and nothing is
Well, we're looking
set.
at the Heights area, though.
Yeah, but I don't want to reveal where it's at, so that in case, like, the internet's a weird place. You never know who might
Even if we
see
don't get
something.
this apartment, there's other apartments that we're looking at, mostly in the Heights, so around that area.
I'm excited. It does kind of suck that our apartment's leased out, but
Yeah.
6 years in the same spot, you know, feels like a new, I don't know, new era in a way.
Well, lots of good new things ahead.
That's true.
Yeah.
So as you just saw from the apartment, we've done the tour, we came back, Emily and I talked about it for like a good hour and just kind of went over everything, and we're hoping we get approved for that apartment. It would be really nice. What I didn't show you on the sky or on the video that I took there was that there is rooftop access, which has a beautiful view of the skyline of Manhattan. And I think this will be a good place for me to kind of talk about it, because even though I talk with Emily, like I want to kind of have my own thoughts, and Emily doesn't watch these videos either, so it's kind of a nice way for me to just open up a bit. There is a portion of me that feels like I failed by not being able to keep us in Hell's Kitchen and in Midtown. Rent has obviously been rising pretty significantly, but our wages just haven't. And the reality is, you know, until Emily hits Broadway, she's limited to a certain extent. She has to keep herself open to being able to audition and everything else there. And I always assumed that I'd be able to push my career, you know, to always match and be able to keep up with everything. And I just quite honestly haven't been able to. And that's a tough pill for me to swallow. By all means, we're still doing fine. It's just I always had this vision of like a certain standard that I wanted to keep for ourselves. Ooh, I gotta run. And I don't know, I just always assumed like the building that we're in, that building right back there with the 3 lines, like great spot. Paying as much as we do for laundry sucks. The great thing about this apartment is that there is in-unit washer and dryer, which is massive for New York City. And we'd be dropping about $800 on our current rent, let alone the $600 extra that the building was trying to charge us here. So we can finally start paying off some bills that we've racked up over the last few years of just trying to make all of this work in Hell's Kitchen. And it just hasn't come to fruition. There was a part of me, like a small part of me, that was hoping that content might be able to pay for it, especially after the Red Bull event last year, and I got paid decently well for that. Part of me was hoping that would continue and I'd be able to offset some of the difference and start paying down our bills and being more sustainable, but it just didn't happen. So now we slowly transition to something else. And by all means, I'm really happy with what the apartment looks like. I hope we get approved. The area of Hamilton Heights, honestly, I really liked it up there. It is just sad of like knowing that you have to move out of somewhere that you've been for 6 years for actions that to a certain extent you feel like you can control. I could have, you know, could take a job at Goldman Sachs or whatever and have no life and be able to afford it, but you know, that's not the choice we're going. We're both, Emily and I, are pursuing dreams, and that comes with its trade-offs whenever you haven't made that dream a reality yet. So it is what it is. Overall, I'm happy with it. Enough with the serious shit though. It's LCS time to get down to Chinatown and OSNYC and enjoy some LCS games. Bounce back win We absolutely take that. Desperately need it. Let me show you around OS if you haven't seen this place before. What happened to the 100 Thieves jersey?
I'm working.
That sucks. When you come in, you got a nice little bar here on the right side, immediately followed by the restaurant. Nah, you can do whatever. I'm just filming a YouTube video. You got the big screen up with the LCS on. Brian's gonna put on some jacket by the end of it. Checkpoint desk. And then you got PCs all on the sides. You got some guys playing Mario Kart here. And just a healthy mix of consoles and PC games pretty much all throughout. And the couches do pretty well here as people play Smash and other games. And then you got your PC corner in the back. And then an AIM Labs kind of Red Bull check area. I don't know. Pretty neat, all things considered. Then you circle back around. You actually do have a racing simulator back towards the front where you have like the full Red Bull shit. It's pretty interesting. Brian wants to show his fantasy.
Look. I got someday, closer, and quit. We scaling late in the split. Yes.
Did you even make playoffs?
No.
Are you in the toilet bowl?
I
today?
think I'm in a toilet bowl.
God.
No.
You know scaling for the toilet bowl is getting worse, right? Like you're supposed
Hey,
to.
at least I'm not 0-3. Ha day. I don't know if they know that.
No, there's no way. We got the one Cloud9 fan that has showed up today because I think it's too hot for everybody else to show up.
It's really hot.
How you feeling about the split?
I'm feeling okay. You know, I feel like the Cloud9 tradition is the end of summer is to like troll a little bit.
Yeah.
And you know, we have 2 splits in a row we won, so I'm feeling pretty good, but I'm a little worried about Liquid just in general. They beat us twice.
Even with the throws.
Even with the throws. I think they match up well against us. And so that's my big concern for the split. But if we make Worlds, I'll be happy.
Let me ask you this. If you were to win this split, where do you think you rank against TL's run from 2018 to 2019?
Not as dominant as that run.
What would you have to do to surpass that legacy?
I don't know. Those teams were really oppressive. And then also, those teams had Cloud9 to battle against in a lot of those splits.
Yeah.
And I don't think Cloud9 has had that team, just with how the rosters have shuffled up.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You know? But for me, I want Blabber to be considered like the GOAT. So every championship for him, that's what I'm rooting for. Because he's my favorite player right now and I want him to like it.
Can he be the GOAT without winning an international series?
He got out of groups.
He got out of groups, but notably, the only international series that C9 won, they had Svenskeren in full time again.
That's true, but they got out of groups in 2021 with Perps.
They did, but are we truly proud of a 2-4 record getting out of groups?
We take those. Absolutely, we take them.
But again, if you're going to be considered the NA GOAT, you have of the jungle, you have to beat Smithy. And Smithy had twice.
But Blabber has gone farther than him at Worlds. It's true.
Blabber didn't play though when they got farther at Worlds.
No, he did.
Not in the best of 3 series. That's why I asked, like, do you need a best of 5 series? Do you need an international series win to put him over Smithy? Personally, I would say yes.
Well, I mean, that would definitely help. But I think like you also just have to look at NA. Like that's where they play the most.
And I don't want to discount that by all means. If he ends up racking like 3 more titles than Smithy and more MVPs, then yeah, I will still give it to him regardless.
No, you're totally right. And Smithy beat Faker in a game of League of Legends that mattered.
Yeah.
Right? And like that's huge. I think we don't talk about that enough. As far as like those 5 guys that ended up, that did that. And so yeah, I don't think he's there now. But I think every championship helps.
To be fair, I'm not trying to compare him against that point now. So, pretty fun night. Relatively low turnout this week, which tends to happen the later you go in the summer before we get into playoffs. But hey, you know what? I did my part. I promoted this as much as I possibly could, and I know I gave it my all. So, thankful for the people that did show up. It was a blast for the first few games. Towards the end of these, like the Game 5 versus Dig and Immortals, it's typically down to about 2 or 3 of us, which it was. And it's always just a little bit more chill and relaxed, but it's still a lot of fun. It's the best part of esports, is just being around other people and chilling. If you've never been to Chinatown, whether in LA or New York City, it's always like seeing like everything like written in Chinese is always like very, or Mandarin. I think it's Mandarin. I don't know. It's always just very unique. It's very cool. Anyways, I'm gonna grab a slice of pizza, go home, get this edited so it can be up for Wednesday. And yeah, more esports events in New York City. I am gonna be vlogging all of finals because that's just gonna be a busy weekend. Yeah, one event at a time, one day at a time. We can just continue making more fans. We're all good. So see y'all in the next one. Adios.